Hello everybody, I'm Storm here. Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV Online Endwalker. In the last episode, we began the Mists of the Realm quest line, which took us to Mordona to meet up with an explorer who claimed to have found an entrance to the Phantom Realm. He obviously has, because we got teleported there. We arrived here in this area. And after kind of poking around for a little bit, we got greeted by several beings who claim to be none other than the 12, the gods that are worshipped by Eorzeans. And they claimed that now that Highland's gone, they're going to take over the star and challenged us to do battle. And, you know, we're not one to back down from a challenge, so we went and faced them, fought them, and defeated them, and we knocked out, what was it, Birgo, Ralger, Azema, and Naldal. And then after, you know, winning our battles and arriving back here at the Omphalos, or Omphalos? Something like that. They showed back up and said that it was all a ruse. They're not trying to take over the star or do anything nasty. They just wanted to motivate us to fight them because they needed us to fight them for some reason. They didn't provide any explanation, just said, investigate on your own and you'll figure it out. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to investigate on our own and try and figure it out. So, to that end, we're going to be heading over to Ralger's Reach and start investigating the destroyer first. So, let's go ahead and head on out. Oh. Transcendence is the weather. Always good to check the weather in new areas. Alright, here's our destination. We're waiting for Graha. And Derek. There you are, Yami. So this is Ralger's Reach, where the dauntless soldiers of the Alamegan Resistance gathered. How stirring to stand here with you. If you don't mind my making an observation, it seems you enjoy traveling with company. He does. I do. It's something I had dreamed of for a long time. Well, there's nothing like traveling with good friends. Is that so? What of yourself? Do you normally travel alone? In my wanderings, I much prefer to have solitude. Not that I avoid people or communities, mind you. As a matter of fact, I've been here before, on the trail of the Phantom Realm. Now that I think on it, more often than not, those places where Phantom Realm sightings are known to occur have a tradition of 12 worship. And then I dare to hope that we are on the right track. So I'm sure you know, Ralger's Reach is home to the Temple of the Fist, the ancient headquarters of the Fist of Ralger. Raised by the Mad King Theodoric, the temple lay abandoned before the Alamegan Resistance claimed it for its operations. While I doubt that much literature has survived over the years, the people here may possess some knowledge of the local faith. So let us split up and make inquiries, and reconvene here afterwards to share findings. Alright. Now we have one here. Bloodstorm. You read the words inscribed on the monument. A storm of blood approaches fast. Hell's open, heavens weep. For no one soul doth lie beyond the measure of his reach. Once upon a time, Elise explained to you their meaning, that we must prepare ourselves for the strife and sorrow that will inevitably come. Alright. Well, it's supposedly over here somewhere. Ah, there we are. Oh, if it isn't Ayami, is this man perchance a friend of yours? When last he visited, he shared with me the tales he heard on his journeys, and what amazing tales they were. If you have time, I'd love to hear both of your stories. Last, we're in some haste. We're investigating the worship of Ralgar and seek literature on the subject, religious texts and the like. Can any still be found here? Just about all of it is gone, sadly, destroyed by the Empire, if not the Mad King before that. We haven't lost everything. The mighty image of the Destroyer, the tales we share at the campfire, like the legend of our nation's founding. We still have these things, and they were a source of great comfort and strength to us in our darkest moments. I see. If you don't mind, I would be obliged to hear your stories this time. Tell me, rest assured I have this well in hand. Feel free to carry on as you were. Alright, next is way over there. A scholarly woman. Alright. Yes, if you have business, please make it quick. I'm due to meet with someone any moment now. Forgive me my delay. You're an adventurer, I take it. What can we, students of Alamican history, do for you? Looking for information about Ralgar. Researching the worship of the Destroyer, you say? In that case, I have something that ought to be of interest. This is a copy of Destructivity, a scripture of the Fist of Ralgar. The original is one of the few texts that survived the temple's razing and is in the safekeeping of one Professor Eric. Well, we had best return to our work. Until next time, adventurer. Alright. Well, we got something. So back to the designated location and see what the others have come up with. Okay. What were you able to learn? Apparently there is a surviving text. A copy of one of the scriptures, you say? A moment while I skim over it. I see. This chapter appears to record the construction of the great image of Rolgar, written in a style that suggests folklore was committed to parchment. When the deluge of the sixth umbral calamity threatened Eorzea, the ancestors of the Alamegans were guided to safety by a comet. Believing that it was sent by Rolgar, they came to hold him in the highest. This much of the tale I had been familiar with. But according to the scripture, those among those refugees who followed the comet, some claim to have caught sight of Rolgar himself. Their accounts were passed down through the centuries, and worshippers of the destroyer pieced them together to give shape to yonder statue. I must say, it bears more than a passing resemblance to the being we encountered. Were that Rolgar a primal, the explanation for the similarities would be simple. That is, the statue gives rise to a unified interpretation of Rolgar's appearance, which in turn lends form to the primal. However, this may also account for what inspired the likeness in the first place. If the scripture is to be believed, it was the sightings during the sixth umbral calamity. Yet, for those witnesses to be able to recognize Rolgar, they would have needed an agreed-upon idea of his appearance beforehand. If we then consider the history of 12 worship that had already existed in the third astral era, it would not be ridiculous to think that these divinities existed even prior to that. So the question is, did these beings give rise to their respective faiths, or are they primals born of them? I thought we had made it clear we are not summoned beings. A hawk and a spriggan. Hawk with Rolgar's voice. Since time immemorial, our domains have lain scattered across Eorzea. As a matter of fact, one of those in which you set foot is nearby. 'Tis not unusual for mortals to glimpse us. That voice, could they be? Indeed, I am Birgo, and the hawk beside me is Rolgar. I shall elaborate upon my master's explanation. We thus disguise ourselves when we wish to observe the world without, for being seen in our true forms would violate the laws of conduct, or our laws of conduct. But though we similarly disguise our sanctums, veiling them in illusions, rents are known to manifest when the surrounding ether is unstable. In such a time, should a gifted mortal chance to be near, they may inadvertently catch sight of us. Of course, during an umbral calamity, etheric imbalance occurs on a star-wide scale, the ideal conditions for seeing the Phantom Realm. Precisely how many times we have been seen, we ourselves have no way of knowing, but that is a sound assumption to make. Well, Birgo, I believe that much shall suffice by way of apology for our deception, shall we? That much may suffice. Indeed, that is all we are at liberty to reveal. Fare you well, children of man. Aside from their reticence where it concerns their identity and objective, these divinities are certainly approachable. If what they said was true and their worship can be traced back to their sightings, it would serve to explain one thing. According to my research, in the field of comparative mythology, Rolgar is often observed to bear many similarities with Remu. Assuming both were inspired by the Rolgar of the Phantom Realm, their divergence may be attributable to differences in culture between man and sylph. Do you believe that they gave rise to the prevailing faiths of Eorzea? Given available evidence, yes, I am inclined to, yet none of this explains their presence. How and when did beings with such power come into existence? Oh, 'tis you, Kryle. Has something happened? Truly, very well, I shall take care of it. Kryle has recruited an acquaintance to aid in our investigation, an authority on mythology. I must go and receive her at the sunken temple of Karn, where she is currently conducting fieldwork, after a brief detour to prepare a little something. Conveniently, Thanalan is home to countless adherents of Nalthal. While I attend to business, may I ask the two of you to make inquiries in Ul'dah? Very well. Excellent. I will join you as soon as I'm able. By your leave. Here he goes. Alright, Derek. I guess it's just the two of us. So it's to be just you and me in Ul'dah. I suppose it can't be helped. What strange matters for the one who proposed a survey to so promptly abandon it. I'll not lie, I'm not given to working one-on-one with another, but I suppose I agreed to this arrangement. Well, we had best be on our way. As I recall, Milvanth Sacrarium is still closed for construction, so let us try our luck at Arzaneth Ossuary. You have no objection to traveling separately, I trust. Good. I shall see you in Ul'dah. Yeah, we can teleport ourselves. Arzaneth Ossuary is the Thaumaturge Guild. All right. And that's a statue of Nald? Oh, you're here. Of the deific twins Nald Thal, here they worship Thal. Oh, so that's Thal, not Nald. Who keeps the realm of the dead and weighs the worth of men's souls. In contrast, Nald keeps the world of the living and oversees their financial fortunes. Their names are borne by many a location and religious organizations. Some extremely wealthy and powerful exist to nurture faith in them. On the surface, it may seem strange that a hub of commerce such as Ul'dah would be home to such spiritual people, but it is actually quite logical when one considers that their religion is in essence commerce. In any event, Nalthal is a truly unusual divinity. What was originally held to be one god came to be worshipped as twins. Indeed, rather than two distinct entities, that which we encountered was a single being possessed of two personalities. We're getting a little attention. Did I miss here? Did he just say they encountered Nalthal? Now, while his appearance differs somewhat to the divinities worshipped, it cannot be denied that there are striking similarities in their nature. We're starting to attract attention. Forgive me, this is hardly the place for such a conversation. Let's continue it elsewhere. Yeah, we might need to be discreet. It was courteous of me to openly speak of our encounter with a divinity within a place where he is worshipped. Hereon, I shall exercise greater caution. Thank you for alerting me to my indiscretion, and ask that you keep it between us. Now then, to finish our conversation, as mentioned, though the Nalthal is worshipped by men appears somewhat different, there are undeniable similarities in their nature. I believe we may report this much to Grahatia. With that, our work here is done. Rather than waiting for our companion to arrive, perhaps we might seek him out at the Sunken Temple? You mentioned needing to make a detour. Were we to set out now, we ought to be able to catch up to him. After all, we hardly know one another, but rather than loiter with an unfamiliar person, 'tis better to use our time productively, wouldn't you agree? Then let us head to the Sunken Temple of Karn at once. Alright, off to the Sunken Temple of Karn. We have a collapsed scholar here. Derek, are you alright? If you hear me, please say something. You're here. Thank goodness. I found this woman collapsed, though I can see no obvious injuries. By her attire, she appears to be some manner of scholar. Water, food, in my bag, please. I see. I got me. May I trouble you to find her bag? I will stand lookout in the meantime. It's over here somewhere. There it is. Examining bag, you find a skin with little water left, but there appears to be no provender. For now, you decide to take the water to the woman. So thirsty, so hungry. Alright, well, we have some water. Not enough food. I need food. I have not saved dried meat, tough as leather. Do you have anything easier to consume? Well, I got some old food sitting around. Yeah, my Derek, what are you doing here? Actually, that can wait. Steady. Snow game. Snow game. Something like that. I brought you Archon loaf and coffee, made sweet and creamy, just as you like it. I am reborn, washed down with a sweet beverage. The life-giving nutrients of Archon loaf permeate my being from head to toe. Thank you, kind stranger. However you knew my preferred source of sustenance, you are truly a godsend. Oh, it's you, Raha. What brings you here? I don't recall mentioning my field work. It's for my research into Beladian's worship of Eorzea, you see. Haven't you heard from Kryl? The students are presently investigating the 12, and we would prevail upon your expertise. I may introduce Snowgime. I guess is what we're going to call her. Snowgime. Expert mythologist. She is a collaborator of the students, and like many a Charlian scholar, is passionate about her endeavors to the point of forgetting to eat. Seeing as she's recovered, may I ask the two of you to tell her about the Phantom Realm? Alright, well, give her the breakdown. The 12 abide in the Phantom Realm, and you exchange not only words with them, but blows besides. Incredible. And your description of the domains, a thunderous tower in one and a sweltering city in another, are precisely as the heavens of lightning and fire are depicted in legend. In ancient times, worshippers of the 12 believed that there exist 7 heavens and 7 hells. Aetherology has since established that departed souls return to the ethereal sea. But it seems those afterlife domains were more than just inventions of mortal imagination. As a pursuer of myths, I must say I feel somewhat anticlimactic to suddenly have these revelations given to me. But more than that, I'm dying to know more, which is a please allow me to join your investigation. Welcome aboard. We would, of course, welcome your presence. Without further ado, then let us head to the Omphalos. Kryl awaits us there. Alright. Speak with Kryl on the Omphalos, which means we need to head back to Mordona first. Where am I? Over here. Alright, here we are. Welcome back, everyone, and welcome, Snow Guy. I'm glad you could join us. Well, how delightful to see you again. I understand you've been doing a fine job leading the students. But may I say what a lovely place this is? At a glance, this appears to be the highest of the heavens of legend, the 7th heaven. And oh, if those aren't symbols representing the other heavens, I take it those are their respective gateways. I'd like to pay them all a visit. For Snow Guy's benefit, let's review what we have learned thus far, and then deliberate the next step. The gods reappeared before us in Ralga's Reach, though they were disguised as unassuming creatures. Their laws forbid them from showing their true forms outside their realm. Yet in the event the ambient ether becomes unstable, such as during an umbral calamity, it is possible for the realm, and indeed the gods themselves, to be glimpsed by mortals. And such sightings, we believe, have given rise to the various faiths practiced throughout Eorzea. As we confirmed in Alda, the Nald'thal worshipped by people and the Nald'thal we encountered here have more similarities than they do differences. In the course of exploring the Omphalos, 2 things caught my attention. The first is the gate which lies in the innermost area. If each of the other 6 gates leads to an elementally aspected heaven, and we stand in the 7th heaven, as Snowgime says, what then lies beyond that last gate? The second is this monument. It harbors some manner of magic, unlike anything I've seen before. I will endeavor to decipher it, but it will take time. Divinities that have existed since time immemorial, who abide in domains resembling the heavens of legend, why have they chosen to reveal themselves to mortals seeking battle? Unless they favor us with more of their secrets, 'twould seem this monument holds the key to solving the mystery. Indeed, much more yet lies beyond our understanding, but we'll keep chasing the truth together. I'm sure you'll agree, though this is tiring work both mentally and physically, we need to pace ourselves. To which end, might I suggest we return to Revenant's Toll and have a rest before we embark on the next stage of our investigation? Nice spread. So really do I get to simply chat with colleagues? I had fairly forgotten what it felt like. Indeed, and it's quite fitting that we should be doing so here at the 7th heaven. Fitting? That is an understatement if I have ever heard one. The 7th and highest of the heavens, which rules over the remaining 6, was right there in Mordona all this time. This isn't fitting, my friends, it's destiny. She's, energetic. You're obviously well versed in the myths surrounding the heavens and hells. If you don't mind, I should like to hear your thoughts on them. Invested as they are in their research, it doesn't take much to stoke their passions. My apologies if it makes you uncomfortable. Having always traveled alone, I'm admittedly not familiar with such a lively atmosphere, but I do not mislike it. By the way, the two of you arrived at the sunken temple rather quickly. Did something happen? Not really. Well, as pleasant as this has been, it's past time we return to the Annex. The paperwork for this commission isn't going to complete itself, alas. I shall take myself to the Omphalos. There's so much there that I'd like to see. And I believe I will go for a walk nearby. It's getting a little warm in here. Alright, do take care now. Alright, speak with Derek. There he is. Oh, yummy. It's pleasant, isn't it? The smells and sounds of a tavern. It makes one feel alive. And afterwards, stepping outside alone and breathing the cool air, I like that just as much. While we await developments, I shall remain here in Revenant's Toll. If there are any tidings, rest assured I will share them with you. Thank you for your help thus far. I doubt so much could have been accomplished without you. Alright. And that is it. Now we wait for the next set, which will almost certainly be... Actually, not sure which two are going to be next. It might be Ice and Earth. But we shall see. But certainly, Derek and the Oppo Oppo are suspicious. Especially since we know that the divinities can turn into creatures to disguise themselves. The Oppo Oppo almost certainly is one of them. So we'll see. Well, it's still a little short for an episode, but I'm not sure I actually have anything else to do right now. So, I think we'll go ahead and stop early. The last episode was a little long. This one's going to be a little short. That'll be it. Yeah, so, we'll see what we get up to for next episode. It might be once the 6.2 patch comes out. We'll have to see. Alright, but for now, we'll stop here. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Go ahead, like, subscribe, and comment, and I will see you next time.